You wonder what's the meta with the new manager Fabio Capello? Today, we crack his code. We're diving into 3 formations that perfectly embody Capello's link-up play. Formations you can master in eFootball 26. But you get way more than this. In every formation, I'll give you the recommendations and progression point distributions for each player on each position. Stick around to the end for a game-changing bonus tip on how link-up play can destroy full blue reds. The first formation is a 3-2-3-2 with 3 center-backs, 2 DMFs, 1 CMF in front of them, LMF, RMF, and at the front, 2 center-forwards. Since we have 3 formations, I am giving you 3 different teams. The first one, which we are using here, is a free-to-play variant. David Seaman is our goalkeeper. William Saliba is in front of him, the latest one, the award player. On his left side, I'm using Silvestre. Yes, he costs money like 50 cents or €1, but even as a free-to-play team, this is someone where you should go in. Jules Koundé is the player on the right hand side as the free gift version from Barcelona. Then we have the 2 DMFs in front of the defense, and the one here is Amadou Onana, a very underrated player from the Belgium pack. His partner, the link-up player, the orchestrator, is going to be Jorginho, the free orchestrator version and one of the best free orchestrators in game. In front of them we have Gavi, the whole player version, which is very interesting for this selection. And he is in between of our LMF Eden Hazard, the free daily game epic, and Lamine Yamal on the right hand side, the treasure link player. The 2 center forwards I'm using are on the right hand side Noah Okafor, very fast, and this is what we need with the link-up play. And as his partner on the left hand side, of course, Kylian Mbappe. Guys, for free-to-play players, no matter which Mbappe you get, use him. He is simply incredible. Let's talk about the link-up play. Let's activate it and select the players. And our centerpiece, as you can see, of course, Jorginho, guys. He needs it with the visionary pass. And our key man, Kylian Mbappe. With his pace, the passes behind the opponent's backline that he can dash there and finish, as clinical as he is. You will ask for the individual instructions, and this is totally understandable. You need them. We have defensive on our 1 DMF Onana, and the second defensive one is on Jorginho, our next DMF, because we want him at the back, not at the front. As our defensive instructions, we are using deep line on Onana, because this 3 at the back, when the opponent is going to attack, is becoming a 4 at the back with him. And this is what we need. We need security in our defense, especially in 3 at the back systems. And as the last skill, I'm recommending you to go for counter target on Kylian Mbappe, our link-up key man. With this, he always stays at the top. He's always ready to run. It helps him a lot at the front. And this is what we are going to do next. The in-game performance test, because I've used this tactics in a couple of matches. I just want to ask you for one little favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be always ahead of the others. And now, have a look at this. Despite the fact that this is a 3 at the back system, you still have a stable defense. Playing with 2 wing midfielders also gives you security when the opponent attacks down the wings. And this compactness often allows you to win the ball back, giving you both time and space. It is important to time your link-up play precisely. The goal poacher must not be played too early or too late. Depending on how far up the opposing team has moved, you can execute the preferred chip-through ball from far back or slightly further forward on the pitch. Another advantage of this formation is that you can put a lot of pressure on the opponent because you have a lot of players up front. You can attack from the outside and the inside at any time and win the ball back. That's why I recommend an aggressive central midfielder like Gavi, who can gain back the possession but also dribble and finish. Once you have the ball with your DMF orchestrator and, above all, have time, stay calm and relaxed. Run back into your own half with the ball if necessary, because this is the only place where link-up play is activated. And if you're wondering why the guy in front of the camera chose David Seaman, watch this scene and your question should be answered very fast. Crazy saves from him. David Seaman is very amazing as a free-to-play player. If you are not satisfied with the key man, swap his position in-game and see if there's any improvement. Sometimes these changes can make the difference between victory and defeat. I've now played many games with link-up play by myself and have found out that the diagonal variant between centerpiece and key man works most effectively. This gives the striker more time to pull in, to cut in. If you want to play the pass from the ground, you have to wait for the right moment. This is because there are often opposing players in the way who could intercept the ball. These long passes have another advantage. If you notice that the ball is coming imprecisely, you can use this super cancel function, at least on consoles and hopefully soon on mobile too, to anticipate the pass path and intercept it while your opponent is passing the ball. Often, the link-up pass flies far out wide. Sometimes this can even be an advantage. It pulls the opposing defense apart, creating space in the middle. If you also have dribbling skills, you can create a lot of chances using this strategy. Take the ball, keep a cool head, and move into the box. There, all you have to do is pass to a teammate who can then easily put the ball into the net. We are coming now to the second meta formation, and here it becomes very spicy because I'm using a full stack team, the best players which I have on my whole account. And for this, I'm using a 4-3-3. Again, long ball counter. You can use all three formations also for long ball, but I will stick to long ball counter. And you can see we have an X with our midfield and front. But how exactly it looks like and which player I choose, we are talking about now. In the goal, I'm using Peter Schmeichel. I'm always switching back and forth between Gigi Buffon and Schmeichel because they are currently the best in game. Then we have two center backs in front of him, a right back and a left back. The first center back duo here is Ronald Araujo, the big time version, which is still goated. Alessandro Nesta, the destroyer, is his partner on the left hand side. While talking about left, our left back is Martin Cáceres, who was also able as a free-to-play player. Lilian Thuram on the right-hand side, he is simply too good, simply too strong. Let's talk about the midfielders. And we have a 2 DMF system here, and the one on the right-hand side is Patrick Vieira, probably the best DMF in-game. We are coming probably to the most interesting position, the link-up play position. It has to be an orchestrator, it has to be a DMF, and here's also for me only one choice, Andrea Pirlo, no one better than him. Equipped with all passing skills, visionary pass, and his attributes, you can see it's simply unreal. In front of him we have a CMF, which needs to cover the front and the back. And here I opt for Clarence Seedorf, the box-to-box version, who is doing it in a very good way. The front is special because we have 2 center forwards and 1 second striker. The second striker in this case is Ruud Gullit. This guy is the man, and with his physicality, he will lift up every attack. The 2 center forwards in this formation needs to be very fast because we want to use the link-up play where they are dashing and dashing. Therefore, I'm using here on the left side Michael Owen, who belongs to one of the fastest players in game. His partner, the link-up player, is going to be, maybe the fastest forward in game, Samuel Eto'o, the Barcelona, the Cameroon legend. Let's talk about the interval instructions, and here I'm using defensive on Cáceres and defensive on Andrea Pirlo, that he stays back, same as we did with the previous formation with Jorginho. And then we are playing 2 counter targets, one on Samuel Eto'o and the other one on Michael Owen, so that both goal poachers are sticking to the front. And this is what the strategy, what this tactic looks like in game. This tactic provides a particularly secure defense, as you have 6+1 players to cover the back. 7 players work back to defend. The right back and left back ensure that you are not vulnerable to the opponent's wing play. A good balance between a wide and compact defense. In the first scene, you can see how I take a free kick without cancelling it. These are good moments to make use of the link-up play. This chip-through ball is just too strong. And with a player like Pirlo, it feels criminal. All passing skills, plus visionary pass, weak foot accuracy very high, and passing values of 100. That's criminal. If you also have Eto'o, the fastest striker in-game up front, it's game over. Even after your own goalkeeper has taken a throw-in, link-up play becomes extremely dangerous because the opposing defense has moved far forward. It doesn't matter which team play style he uses there. These long passes from the back to the center forward behind the defense are almost a guarantee of a goal with the right players. And if you're a free-to-play player thinking, yes, with Pirlo and Eto'o I would like to do that too, don't worry guys, I've cooked up something very tasty for you with the last formation. But with this formation, you can also switch the key man and place him on the side of the centerpiece. Although the striker then has less time to react because the distance between the 2 link-up players is shorter. There are many game situations in which this connection on the same side is needed. In addition, the shorter distance also gives your opponent less time to think, which often leads to them making mistakes in the heat of the moment, which you can then punish. But here too, I also prefer the diagonal variant, as it allows you to cut in, spread the play, and generally create more options. What makes this formation so strong is the ability to combine up front. Even if you don't use the link-up function, you can still make your opponents dizzy with this tactic and create countless scoring opportunities. Last but not least, my heart, my diamond of the link-up play with Fabio Capello. It's, for me, maybe the best formation which works out just the best. And it gets even better because I'm doing it as a free-to-play version. A full 3-2 with 3 center-backs, 1 right-back, a DMF in front of them, a CMF in front of him, which is in between 2 AMFs and 2 center-forwards in front. Christian Nabiati is my goalkeeper here, which is probably the best free-to-play goalkeeper together with Oliver Kahn. 3 center-backs in front of them, and the left one is Boubacar Kamara, the eFootball point shop version. His partners in the centers: 1. Frank Rijkaard, the big-time version orchestrator one, and Aurélien Tchouameni, the DMF anchorman version, but he can play insanely good as a center-back. Right-back is Fabio Cannavaro. I gave him additionally the right-back position. He's too good. Link-up time, guys. Our DMF orchestrator, and for me, probably the best free-to-play orchestrator, Xabi Alonso. His stats are amazing, especially because he combines defense and passing, and this is very important in this formation. In the front, you need again players who can defend a little bit, but also are fast and can attack. And here, I opt for João Neves, the match pass version. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess it was a match pass player. While talking about match pass, Rafinha here is our AMF whole player on the right-hand side as a left-footed player and also a match pass version. And the only player which I use twice is the left AMF Eden Hazard, the daily epic game version, because he is up to date and maybe you need to see his performance on the pitch. Up front we have 2 center forwards. The one on the right hand side is Lionel Messi, the treasure link version of him, and his partner on the left hand side, for me, one of the most underrated players, match pass Ousmane Dembele. He is so good, goal poacher, fast, both footed. You will see how clinical he is and how effective he is. But before, I'm showing you the individual instructions, and here we are playing with defensive on Xabi Alonso, especially because it's the only DMF. Defensive on Fabio Cannavaro because he's a destroyer and we want him to stay at the back. And counter target on Lionel Messi. Counter target on the link-up player Ousmane Dembele. So both center forwards. And now I'm going to show you how this formation works out in-game. The link-up play passes are what it's all about, but with all the formations and tactics, it's important to me that you have a stable defense, especially since defending has become much more challenging now. And by the way, would you be interested in a defensive tutorial covering all the necessary aspects? Please let me know in the comments down below with the word defense. And if this video gets 1000 comments, I'll upload an ultimate defense tutorial. And now, back to the last formation. You have a 5+1 system, which means there's a relatively little risk of the opponent attacking with numerical superiority. The +1 stands for the central midfielder, who's very important in this game. He must have offensive and defensive skills, because it is often he who wins the ball back up front and thus initiates the counter-attack. Don't obsessively look for the link-up play. Bring variety to your game, especially with this tactic. Keep the ball at your feet for longer if there are no opponents nearby. Toss the ball across and score your goals. But yes, this is Fabio Capello we're talking about. Of course, you should use the link-up function, just not excessively. And here Xabi Alonso is predestined for the role of an orchestrator. With his physical strength and his defensive skills, he can win the ball back at any time. However, his greatest strength is his passing. There aren't many players in eFootball who are capable of doing what he can do. But even with him, always pay attention to timing. If you pass the ball too late, there is a high probability that your goal poacher will be offside. On the other hand, if you pass the ball too early, he will not be able to close the gap between himself and the opposing defender, no matter how fast he is. With this formation, it's very important to develop a feel for the link-up play. Switch between the 2 strikers and see which side works better. Since the centerpiece is positioned centrally, both sides of the attack can be used. And sometimes the opponent plays with man marking, sometimes the opposing defender is too fast. In these cases, you have to make decisions and introduce variation. The cherry on top was that in my last game, I noticed that my opponent was playing with full blue. So I often let him attack and won the ball back in front of my own box. Then I was often able to outplay his deep defense with link-up play. The important thing here is to really let the opponent come and not get the ball back too early. In the next video, I'll show you a detailed comparison between Big Time Rijkaard and the daily game Epic Rijkaard. It's a very exciting competition, and if you like this video or use one of my mentioned formations, please leave a like and see you in the next video.